interact with us, share your thoughts and feelings with us. So please share everything on the live chat. If you cannot access the live chat, please log into your Gmail accounts and then you can see the live chat. If there's any other technical issues, please let us know. Thank you. So, today's session is a topic which is very, very close to my heart because this is something that I have been dealing with for years. Maybe something which I have had since I was a child. And it's still a journey. I'm not there yet. But I hope this session at least, you know, gets you to begin your journey. So today's topic is fearlessness. So before starting, I want you to think about what fear is to you. What is fear? So, fear can be defined as the emotional and psychological response I have to something I perceive as threat to my security. So, something which, creates threat. Basically, my survival instincts kick in. That I feel that this thing might take my life away from me. So that's basically what fear is. But on a more scientific term, I think this is more of a reflex. So in our brain, we do have reflexes. For example, if I'm near a burner and if I put my hand around it, if it starts getting hot, I'll automatically pull my hand away because my reflexes kick in because I know that that is dangerous to my body. So that is reflexes kicking in. So that is actually, we can say, fear. But the kind of fear we are actually dealing with right now is fear of surviving, a fear of getting into relationships, fear of not getting a job, fear of maintaining a job. There's different kinds of fears, and this is all psychological. And then we think that fear is normal. First of all, fear isn't normal. This is something which was very hard for me to accept because growing up, everyone around used to tell me that, it's okay, it's natural, it's normal. But I realized that that's not who I am. What I am is I'm success, I'm confident. Those are my qualities. Fear is not one of them. And I know in today's world that like we are getting to a better place, especially in Canada, but still few parts of the world are still dealing with the virus. There is still fear around. So talking about being fearlessness is something very bold to do today. But I think it's the need of the hour as well. Because now that we are going to come out of a pandemic which has created fear in us, it's not going to just go away because we are going to carry it on. And I fear that we might carry it on to places which it doesn't belong. So, what I want from today's session is for us to become so fearless that nothing can threaten me, to feel so secure and confident that nothing feels dangerous to me. That's what I want this session to do to me and you together. So, one of the reasons that I chose this topic is because I have been dealing with panic attacks since a few years. So when I am talking about this, I have experience. It's not just something that, I'm reading of some website. It's something which is very, very personal to me. I've been dealing with panic attacks where I used to get, I couldn't breathe when I used to get a panic attack. I, my hands used to sweat. I used to shiver. My whole body used to shiver. And it took me a while to calm down. And they happened so frequently that sometimes I feared that this might take away my life. But when I when I joined the Brahma Kumaris, when I actually started practicing daily meditation, really owning my affirmations, that's when I could calm myself down. I'm not saying that the panic attacks have totally gone. I still get them, but they are less in intensity, they are less in number. And I think that's something to be proud of. So, first of all, when we're going to talk about fear, so this fear is something that we have to accept, that yes, I do have fear in me. Some people are not even ready to accept, or they just call it normal. So, the very, very first thing that we have to do is acknowledge that fear is not normal. Being confident is normal. Peace is normal. Love is normal. But fear isn't. What we have done is we have constantly, just said that it's normal and we have accepted it. And it's just led us to our downfall. Fear is like a corset. The more you ignore it, the more it tightens and the more it's difficult for you to breathe. Or for some people, fear is like a background that they don't even know that it exists, but it takes all over you. So, further, I have a few stories for you. So, one of the first stories is that once there was a criminal who got caught. So, the criminal was taken to the king. So, the king offered him uh, two options. First, either he is hung by a rope, or second, he can face whatever is behind a big black door. So, in a hurry, the criminal says, I'll take the first option. I'll rather get hung by a rope because I don't know what's behind that door. So, the king says, okay, all right. So, the preparations begun, and the criminal is taken, uh, you know, to his death. So, before that, he asked the king that now that I'm going to die, I think you can tell me what's behind that door. I'm not going to tell anyone. So the king laughs and says that, it's weird that behind that door is freedom. But people are so scared that they would rather choose death. So the criminal had that chance to choose freedom, to take that step of fearlessness and choose that door. And once he would have chosen that door, he would have been grateful to the king that he got freedom and would have tried to change himself. He would have been given a new life. But because he didn't know what's behind that door and didn't want to, know what's behind it, he chose the first option. He chose death. So sometimes in life, we are so comfortable in a position and we have a goal which is far away and it looks like it's going to be difficult. It looks like a big black door. But sometimes behind that big black door is what we have always wanted. But the first step is to actually take that first step. So, are we doing that? Or are we too comfortable in our places? I think that's something to introspect. So, one of the second stories I had was which really touched my heart. So, there was this girl who feared the night. So, she was very scared when the lights of her room were turned off in the night. When she used to sleep, she used to sometimes see a monster at the end of her door. So one day she met her aunt, and her aunt was a great adventurer. She was very, very brave, and many articles were written about her. So the girl excitedly went up to her aunt and asked that maybe you can help me with this fear. Have you ever faced fear? You are so brave. So the aunt said that it's not that I haven't faced fear in life, but I did overcome it. Something which inspired me was blind people and how they don't have eyes, everything is dark, but they still move on in life and sometimes even see better than us. So the aunt suggested the girl to use her the eyes of her mind, to use touch instead of her eyes. So next time when she falls asleep and she wakes up and she is scared, just walk around the room and feel the room and close your eyes while you're doing that. So the girl was excited and then she wanted to try this. So that very night, she tried it and she started walking around the room and, touching everything to see where she is going. And at the end, when she reached the end of the door, she opened her eyes and it was just her teddy bear. So what she thought was a monster was actually just a teddy bear. So sometimes that's what we do. But what she did was she changed her outlook. The situation was same, but she changed how she will deal with it. But because we feel fear so much, we don't want to change our ways of dealing with it. So once you have taken the first step, the next thing is to decide, how will I deal with this problem? How can I differently react to this problem? How can I not first start thinking negatively about a problem, right? So I think that's something we need to do. I have identified that in life, there are specifically four areas where we feel fear, and those are body, mind, money, and relationships. And I'll give you personal experiences of all four of these. So everything is personal and from the heart. So, first, let's start with body. I haven't had a good experience with how I've looked since I was a child. I've always been on the heavier side. And as I got clinically depressed and panic attacks started to come, I started developing negative eating habits. And I used to be stressed. And even if I didn't eat anything, I used to gain weight. So all of this happened, and I reached to a point where I was not happy. I was not happy with how I looked at all. I feared stepping out of the house. I feared making friends. But one day I realized that if in this moment I pass away, this body will be right here. But what was actually, making my body work, that's gone. That energy is still somewhere. We say that we are beings, we are energies. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be transferred from one place to another. I feared so much of how people would look at me that I forgot what I actually am, the qualities inside me. Society has created such a high beauty standard, and I know that no matter how hard I work, no matter how many hours I spend in the gym, I don't think I can achieve those beauty standards, and I don't think I want to. But even when I'm like this, I still have to love my body. I still have to be fearless and step outside. I have to stop thinking about what people are going to, judge me about. This is one aspect of what we face when we face fear in body of not looking a certain way, right? And one of the second things we face fear when it comes to body is death. And we have feared that all together. The whole world feared it with the coronavirus. And now that things are getting better, people have started to not, you know, follow the rules. They are getting like, it's okay, now it's gone. But what led us to this place? We forgot about that. After this pandemic, are we working towards a better self? Are we actually doing something for the environment? Or do we actually just want to, go out and go on vacations? The amount of fear there was in these 2 years is something which affected all of us. And one way to, and I know that it's very easy to say that, don't fear death. But we also have to acknowledge that everyone is going to die one day. No one can, live forever. No one has. So be fearless. Even if something happens to you, it may be the worst thing ever that your body might be going through. And I know it's tough, but I think we can still create positive thoughts. We can still overcome that fear. Now let's move on to the mind. So when I say the mind, it's basically my thoughts. So recently, because I'm graduating soon, I have been dealing with the fear of, getting a job. It's like, as soon as I graduate, I have to get a job. And I know that's not going to happen. These things take time. But the amount of fear of not getting a job that I have created in my mind, and the amount of pressure that I created in my mind, it just got me depressed. It did nothing for me. Worrying, just, continuously worrying for like a few days didn't help me because I could not see a picture in front of my eyes of how to solve this. So, one of the things that fears does to us is It does not let us see. It takes away our sight. It does not let us think of what we can actually do to solve this problem, to solve these thoughts, to, actually think positive thoughts. Fear almost blinds us of the positive thinking which is beyond that. I know that I'm good at what I do, and I know that it might take a while, but I will get a job. But worrying about the future from right now, it's not doing me any benefit. And the mind is so free that it thinks a lot. We are constantly thinking. Even when we are doing something, our unconscious thoughts are still going on. It never stops. And when you are scared of something, those thoughts only increase in number. You not only are in the future, you are also way in the past, and you are never in the present. But I realized that this is not going to help me. What's going to help me is thinking positive, is acknowledging the affirmations that I have made for myself. That's going to help me. That's going to eradicate the fear. And let me tell you that anything which happens in life, especially bad things, they are always a blessing in disguise. Those things happen to you to increase your resilience. So, how flexible are you? Stressing about what's in the future, creating fear, is going to hinder in what you are doing right now. Because I was stressed for these few days, I could not actually do the work that I had to do at that present moment. That were important, that were necessary, which had deadlines. I could not bring myself to do them because I had fear. But when I acknowledged that, okay, yes, I accept that, yes, I have fear, but now what? Is this helping me? No, it's not helping me. What I can do is start thinking positive thoughts. And I know it's very, very easy to say, but and when you are low, it's not easy to think those thoughts. It's not easy to generate those positive thoughts. But one of the things which has helped me is to write them down. They say when you write something, it sticks in your head. So start writing those affirmations, the affirmations that we tell you in each and every episode of this series. Make your own affirmations, right? And start noting them down 5 times, 10 times, 50 times. But at one moment, you will start experiencing the positivity of those affirmations. I promise you that. So now, next, let's come to money. I think money is something that we all deal with. We all want, we all want to have, good jobs and make a lot of money, to experience luxury in our lives. So we take pressures on ourselves to be extraordinary all the time. And to be extraordinary, that creates fear. That can I be extraordinary? Especially this generation, I feel that each one of us wants to be a billionaire. We are all trying to do something to have a lot of money in our banks. We all want to stand out. Our generation is suffering from this, complexity. No, we don't all have to be billionaires. It's not that I'm stopping you. No, work hard, of course. But also see where you are. Right now, if I'm just starting out, I'm not going to be a billionaire in the next year, right? I know it's going to take me time if I want to be a billionaire. It's going to take me time and I need to accept that and not fear that, oh, I have set this goal and it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. It's okay. I know that it's very easy for us to say because we are privileged in a way. But no matter how tough it is, when you are set in your affirmations, when you are thinking positive thoughts, the world changes for you. When I change, the world changes. That's a line that resonates with each and every one in Brahma Kumaris. We live by that line. We live by this thought. Only when I change, the world can change. So, first of all, I think we all have to stop running after money because if we if we even get too much money, the fear comes that I might lose that money someday. If we don't have money, I might never get money. We are always in these two thoughts. That's it. There's no in between. There's no, I'm satisfied with where I am right now, but of course, I'll work hard to get better at what I am professionally. That's never a thought. And because we are always in these two thoughts create fear. If I don't have enough money, if I say that I'm satisfied where I am right now, people will judge me. So then that creates fear in you, which creates stress, which creates anxiety. And if you are just working hard all day to just earn money, you're missing out on a lot of stuff on life. You're missing out on friends, on family, on discovering new hobbies. Life isn't just about making money, right? Now let's move on to the last one, which is my favorite relationships. I think relationships is something which creates more fear than anything else, maybe even more than the body. Why? Because we are dependent on relationships, because we are not independent, because we don't know how to spend time on our own with ourselves. We don't know how to do that yet. So I'll just share with you what. So when I was going through these periods of panic attacks, if I love my mother very, very much, she's sitting right here. And I'm I used to be very, very dependable on her because I used to feel that only she can calm me down. Only she can calm my panic attacks down. So one day I was going through a panic attack and my mother was at work. And I started calling my mother and she didn't pick up. And the thing was, She was at work, but like it was over. Her work was over, so she could have picked up the call. Now I was already, stressed. I was already going through a panic attack. So I was already dealing with fear. But what happened, because I was attached to her, because I was dependent on her to solve what I'm going through right now, her not picking up my call added more fear in me. Is she okay? Ac- Maybe she got in an accident. Is she dead? Seriously, that's where I went. Is she dead? And I started crying that she might be dead. So I was already dealing with something, going through a panic attack. And that shifted from another panic attack of maybe she's dead. And when she came home and I saw her, and then I realized, what was I doing? Sh- She was in the car. Why would she pick up her phone? She shouldn't pick up her phone. But because I was in that moment of fear, I could not think straight. I was blinded. I could not think straight. What I could think was just adding more fearful thoughts. Because I was waiting for her to come and fix me. And even when she came, she couldn't fix me. I might have calmed down for a moment, but I went back to my room and again my body was still shivering. So even though I knew, I thought that, this person is going to come and help me and this person is going to get me out of this panic attack, that didn't happen. And that's when I realized that only I can calm myself down. That I'm dependent on her and she is not going to be there one day. Then what will happen? Am I going to die out of fear of not having her around me? Is that the life that I want to live? I might get a panic attack anywhere. If I get a job and I am miles away from where she is, she can't fly and come to me in a second. Even the shortest flight at least takes an hour and a half. So I realized that this is not going to help me. Being dependent on her, even though she is my mother and I love her with all my heart, I cannot be dependent on her. I cannot create that dependence because it creates fear inside me. And this doesn't go for only this relationship. This is a very extreme relationship. And this is, I came out of a womb. People say that so it's okay to have dependency, though it's not. But we do this everywhere with our friends, lovers, uh, you know, even bosses or a co-worker at work. For example, if I don't when I used to work as a cashier in Bay, I could not you know I didn't know how to do one specific thing, and I used to depend on a co-worker of mine. And one day she didn't come to work. So now what do I do? And then I realized, oh my god, I have to learn how to do this. I cannot be dependent on that person to always be there, right? So that's how much we are dependent on other people. And because she was not there at that moment, I was I, I was fearful. I was like, I cannot deal with this. How do I deal with the customer? I start panicking again. So when we say that, you know, expectations in relationships, being dependent in relationships is normal, it's not normal. It's only creating fear inside you. So, try to spend time with yourself. Right now, I'm just talking about relationships, but we are also dependent on one other thing, our phones. If something happens to my phone right now, I'll be fearful. Oh my God, what happened? Oh no, it's not working. Oh no, what should I do right now? Right? If, like, for example, if I'm sitting somewhere and I can't feel my phone in my pocket, so you get that one tiny panic moment where you start searching everywhere and you can't find it anywhere. So you are stressed at the maximum level that why can't I find my phone? And then it's right there in your pocket and you're like, oh, that's a sigh of relief. But it's just a phone. It doesn't have any life. But because I cannot live without it, for even like an hour, I'm attached to this phone. And losing this phone or something happening to this phone will create fear inside me. So detach. Only you are going to be there for yourself till the end of your journey. No person, no thing, money, anything will be there with you. But you will always be there with yourself. And if you cannot learn how to spend time with yourself, my friend, I think you are in some kind of danger, I feel. This pandemic taught us how dependent we are on outside, experiences to make us happy. We feel that going outside, having a drink with my friends will make me happy. Or, that will, if I'm stressed, that will decrease my stress. Smoking would decrease my stress. It would take away my fear for a while. But how long does that last? That's something to introspect. And I was a very heavy drinker actually like an year and a half ago. And whenever something used to happen, my first response used to be, I need to grab a drink. Need to grab a drink to calm down. But that didn't help me. That only increased my fear. That if I didn't have a bottle somewhere hidden in my room, what am I going to do? That's what happened to me when I, you know, took support of alcohol to cure my fear. But the day I decided that I'm not going to be fearful anymore, I went cold turkey. And it's been a year and a half, and I'm more than happy. I don't feel the need to have alcohol, no matter how stressful the situation is. And trust me, this year and a half has not been easy. A lot of situations have come up in life. But when I took that first step of fearlessness, of saying that no, no matter what, I won't do this, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So that. So I think that one of the reasons that we create fear, I would say, because we create fear, it's not something natural, is that we don't know how to be a detached observer. What do I mean by being a detached observer? It's basically when I'm in a situation, I need to step back and look at it from a third person perspective. And I know when I say it sounds difficult, but let me give you an example. For example, if I get a heart attack right now and you are here with me and I'm feeling the pain, but you are here for me, you are still concerned for me, but you are not feeling that pain with me, right? You're not feeling that pain with me. So what's your logical response? Yours is, okay, I need to get her better. I need to call an ambulance. I need to give her CPR. I need to make sure everything is fine, right? You won't lie down with me and, I'm also in pain, right? You won't do that. So when it comes to our situations, I know because we are in that situation right now. So it's very difficult for us to have that third person as perspective. But what that third person perspective does is it helps us, get a logical solution to the problem. Even if I have an heart attack, okay, I am having it, but what's the least I can do? I can call 911, even if I'm alone. Or even if I don't have mobile, okay, I think I might die, okay. But that's life. But because we are so fearful when that happens, so we are like, oh, this is the most appropriate response I'm having. It's normal. No. Okay. So, whenever you are dealing with something and you are in a very, very fearful situation, even if you don't want to do this, you don't want to be a detached observer, do it. Do it one time. Once, just think, if I was, my friend was here, what would my friend do right now? If I'm stressed, if my friend is here, what would my friend do right now? And do that for yourself. If I am stressed and I, go to a friend and I come, reside in him or her, so what will happen? They will just, tell me encouraging words. They will assure me that things are going to be fine. So why do I need a third person to tell me that? Why do I, when I'm alone, why do I need to call someone and then that someone needs to tell me and then I'll feel secured? I can do that to myself because I am my own best friend, because I am the only one who is going to be with myself forever. So do that with yourself. Talk to yourself. Assure yourself that everything is going to be fine. All right? And I think one of the other things that creates fear in us is not having a pure intention when doing something. What that means is, for example, I am sitting here right now. I am talking to you guys. And if I come and sit and before talking, all I'm thinking about is, oh, I want this person to praise me. Oh, I want that person. Oh, is everyone going to like this? What if someone, clicks the dislike button? What if someone barges in here and says that everything you say is bullshit? If I create these thoughts, if I'm just, I want that praise and I'm yearning for that praise, so I'm already creating fear inside me that I might not get that praise. And because I don't have the intention of actually trying to, change perspectives of people and thinking about praise, I have set the wrong intention to do this. And when I have set the wrong intention, fear will come and things might go wrong. And we do this in our workplace, in relationships. We set wrong intentions when we start something. So, whatever you are doing, whatever, if something is creating fear in you, sit back and try to see what is my intention of doing this thing. Is my intention pure? If my intention is pure, how can fear come? When before this series started, and when we were preparing for this series, we had 1 month to prepare. And I was the first one who had to go. So this was something which was very, very new to me. And for the first 2, 3 rounds of our practice sessions, I was very, very scared. My voice used to, you know, get shivery. But then when that day came and I sat, and all I could think of was whoever sees this might get something for themselves and their life might change. And I'm here just to do service. The confidence that came in me and everything was so smooth that day. So bright and happy that day that I couldn't believe myself. Because the first few sessions, all I was thinking about, what if I don't remember anything? What if I stop in between? What if I get a panic attack? Because I was still going through panic attacks. I am still, but though at that time they were still a bit intense. What if my hands start sweating badly? What if my body starts to shiver? What am I going to do? Those were my thoughts. Those were my intentions, that I want to look normal. I want people to like this. But at that day, when I came and I had the intention of just, trying to do a service, things changed. Things changed since that day. And since that day, I have never been fearful of coming here and speaking. I've always felt happy, light, because I set a pure intention. So because I had a pure intention, I had nothing to be fearful about. As simple as that. So we need to start doing this. And now, one of the last things that I want to leave you with is when we come to the section of what you should do. So, give yourself 30 minutes a day, affirmations, self time. We have said everything. And I hope you guys are doing that. But I want to introduce you to something called a blessing. So basically, we are capable of blessing ourselves as well. Blessing is basically just a positive thought, or I would say just affirmation. But if someone blesses us, why we call it a blessing? Because we feel like it's coming from someone special. They are just giving me a positive thought, right? But it becomes a blessing because we feel that it's coming from a very special person, an older person. But I am also special. We have realized in this series that I am so special. I have so many good qualities that I have inside me, and I need to bring them out. So, and if I'm sitting here and listening to these episodes, that means that I'm special. That means that I know that I'm special. So bring that in front of you. So because you are special, give that blessing to yourself. In the morning when you wake up, bless yourself. This is going to be an amazing day. I'm very, very peaceful. I'm confident. When you sleep at night, bless yourself that tomorrow is going to be a very good day. And mind you, that if you are thinking negatively, it has an opposite effect. And when you start blessing yourself, because you change, automatically those blessings, they go to everyone you interact with. Even if you are walking in the station and you look at someone and you smile, but you know that you have changed as a person, that person will get your vibe. They will smile back at you, right? So, do this not just, in the morning or in the night. Anytime you feel fear, anytime, you are having a drink, or just, say that this is going to make me healthier. Having food, put a blessing that this food is going to nourish me. you know I don't do this regularly, but when I notice that when I don't do this, if in a day that I have not done this at all, I notice that that day doesn't go well. But in a day, even if once I have done this for myself, if I have put a positive thought in before having food, before having water, or before going to work, it's much better. It's a much, much better day. It's a much, much brighter day. I'm very, very less fearful. I feel secured that I know that I put a positive thought and that's going to manifest. So I think that's something we have to do now. You should be able to feel secure with yourself. No one else can make you feel more secure than yourself. No one else. No amount of money, no amount of, amazing technology. Nothing is going to make you feel more secure than yourself. So start talking to yourself. Start spending time with yourself. Try to stay away from your phone for at least an hour. When I wake up, I don't see my phone for an hour, and I do this at least regularly, and I can say that proudly that I don't touch my phone. And I think that's helped me a lot. So I think we can start doing that. Small, small steps will lead you to that big black door. And once you open it, you will find that beautiful garden where everything you want awaits for you. So that's the end of today's session. I hope you all have a very wonderful day. If you want to know more about the Brahma Kumaris, please visit our website or contact us on our emails. And I hope that you stay fearless. Om Shanti.